So hi, so it's Ken again. So we're going to do the next film in this third lockdown series. Okay, so we're going to do some exercises today from a Malaysian Chinese teacher called Master Lee Bei Lee. Master Lee Bei Lee was also known as, I think his nickname was the Butcher, because in his early life I think he was a butcher and he apparently could carry a pig under each arm. I presume it was a pig carcass under each arm, not like the big sows that you get in the UK, but carry a pig under each arm. He was a real bruiser, a real fighter, a Tai Chi exponent, but he put his Tai Chi to the test. He went around challenging other teachers, closing down schools. And the way that in Chinese martial arts they close down a school is that they turn up at the school and they challenge the teacher to a fight or a test of strength. And if the teacher loses, then he packs up shop and leaves town. So Lee Bei Lee was well known for closing down schools. He was very well widely travelled. He travelled to America, and I believe he did teach at the Insanto Jeet Kune Do Academy in California, I think it was. And Dan Insanto, there's even a quote saying that he was really said that Dan Insanto was saying that Lee Bei Lee was really strong. Okay, so these are his exercises. You could call these Qigong exercises. They're not like the soft Qigong exercises that you normally see in Tai Chi. These are more hard. They are conditioning exercises. Really good exercises, really good for getting your heart rate up, really good for strengthening the body and calming the mind as well. There is the mindfulness aspects here as well. So without further ado, let's get through it. So let's start with a little bit of a waist turning, just perhaps you've been sat for a while. So we just do a little bit of waist turning just to loosen up the body, So we're standing with our feet about the same distance as our hips or our shoulders apart, feet parallel to each other. Tai Chi stance. Imagine you have a long ponytail on the top of the head that's tied up to the heavens, as they say in the Tai Chi classics. Imagine your queue is tied up to the rafters. The queue is the long, like French plait that the men used to have to wear their hair in during the Manchu period. It was the Manchu period. Anyway, so head is if suspended from above. Pelvic area tilted forwards feels like it's hanging down. Sink the chest around the upper back, sink the ribs to fill the lower back. Really feel this space between the ribs and the hips opening up. Bending the knees, relax the hips, the knees and the ankles. Arms relaxed down by your side and just start to turn your waist. Turning the weight of the body from one leg to the other leg. So I worked on this in a previous film in quite a lot of detail. I'll put a link to it up here. Put a link to it up there. So just turning the waist. Just loosen up the waist. Make sure all the movements are coming from your center. Turning your arms are just moving away from the body because of the centripetal force coming out from your center. The center in Tai Chi is an area that we call the dantian. Area that it is about 3 finger widths underneath your belly button and in the center of the body. You can visualize a ball there about the same size as your fist. You're just turning that, moving from that area, turning that from side to side. It's quite a small movement at your center, even bigger movement at your waist, even bigger movement at your fingertips. Turning. Just let your arms go. Turning. You're floating across this area here. Just turn. Loosen up the body. As I said, I went into a lot of detail in that in a previous film, so you can follow the link that I put up there to that. Okay, so we're standing with the feet about the same distance as the hips and the shoulders apart. This time I want you to just turn your toes in ever so slightly. So a bit pigeon-toed here, a bit like they do in Wing Chun here. Make sure the bum doesn't stick out. Make sure you don't curve in the lower back. Bum tucked forwards, sitting down into the posture. And if this is at all painful on the knees, then just step out into a shoulder width stance. And if that's still painful on your knees, turn the toes out a little bit further. I'm going to go this pigeon-toed. Make sure, or this pin-toed here, make sure that the knees aren't pronating in. The knees are still in line with your toes. Sitting down, pelvic area tilted forwards, hanging down. Okay, so these exercises look a little bit daft, but you'd have never told Lee Bei Lee that because, as I said, he was a real bruiser. I did meet him once. I didn't get to train with him, but I did meet him once, and I'd already been training these exercises, so I was in awe of him. He kind of just looked around like he wanted to fight people. Okay, so standing a bit pigeon-toed, head as if suspended from above. Touch the tongue onto the roof of the mouth. Bring your elbows as close together as you can get them. Sink the chest round the back. From the wrist, I want you to fan towards your face. As I said, these exercises look daft, but you would never tell Lee Bei Lee that. And this is from the wrists. It's not the fingers, it's the wrists. Fanning towards the face. So really working your forearms here. Fanning towards the face. When I was taught this, I was taught to do 100 repetitions of each of the exercises. 100 repetitions of each of the exercises. But yeah, I don't tend to count nowadays. I just do them till they feel right. I do that with all my Qigong exercises, pretty much. Fanning towards the face. Fanning. Okay, turn the hands over. Fan away from you, like a dog digging a hole. Sink the chest, round that, really round the upper back. Make sure the head's not lolling forwards. Feel like you're touching the neck against the collar of a shirt. Fanning, 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 fanning. Okay, arms out in front of you. Point the fingers up towards the heavens, towards the ceiling. Be careful if you do have long nails here as you snap your hands down. Snapping the hands down. Snapping the hands down like a crocodile's jaws, like a Venus flytrap. Snapping the hands down. When I was training these exercises a lot, I used to try and do 100 of these. I used to get to about 40, and I used to really stop. It really gets you in the forearm, sisters. Really. And the thing it's the same thing with all Tai Chi exercises. You don't do them to extreme. We don't like extremes in Tai Chi. You build up over time. As the body gets stronger, you'll be able to do more repetitions, but you shouldn't force it. Build the strength gradually. It's a slow burner Tai Chi is. Okay. So bring your arms to the sides of the body. Bring the elbows down towards your flanks here. Make sure you don't stick your chest and your ribs out here and don't curve in the lower back. Okay, and all I want you to do is poke out to the sides. Feel this in the whole body. So see, I'm compressing against the ground and then pushing up. Watch out if you do have any problems with the elbows here. You shouldn't really be locking out your elbows. Pushing out to the side. This is like a baby bird exercise. Baby bird exercise. Pushing out to the side. And say these are really good for strengthening, but work to your capabilities. This is, as always with Tai Chi, work to your capabilities. Don't go to the extreme and not be able to do anything for a few days because your body is in so much pain from the exertion. Pushing out to the side. Get the rhythm going again. Okay, this is the baby bird, now do the big bird. So just flapping your arms like you're taking off here, like you're a bird flying to Africa for the winter, flapping your wings. Feel the resistance of the air. You can see I'm already getting my heart rate up, my breath's getting up as well. It's good cardio exercise, this one. Often people say Tai Chi is too slow. Tai Chi is slow, it's boring. There are lots of auxiliary exercises that do get you out of breath, get your heart rate up, do get you warm. Okay, and this one, turning the waist. Turning the waist, you go to the side, to the center, to the side, to the center. Center. Whew. Okay, so yeah, I can really feel the warmth in my muscles around here now. So let's do the lower half of the body now. Let's work down to the lower half of the body. Okay, so there's very few times in Tai Chi you'll be asked to straighten your legs. This is one of them. If you do have problems with your knees, then don't look at the legs. Okay, all you're going to do, you're going to straighten the legs. You're going to tense all around here. So tense the buttocks, the pelvic floor, the abdominal muscles. Push down with the fingers. Push the fingers towards the ground. And all I want you to do is lift one leg up and the other leg. So moving from here, picking the leg up. Really work on the hips. If you do have problems with the hips or the lower back, hip work to your capabilities. Like a toy soldier here. Up and down. Pushing down with the hands, lifting the hips up. Make sure you're not sticking your chest out. Really feel this here. Feel it in the lower back as well. Like a toy soldier. Okay, so we're going to go into a bow stance here. So drop the weight onto your right leg. Turn the waist, turn the left toes out to the side. Roll into that foot and step straight forwards with your right foot. My foot's probably gone out to side here. And before you say, I know I'm using my left foot there, but you can mirror me here. You find that easier. Okay, bring your arms up like this. Again, round in the back like we had when we were doing the fanning here, fanning away. So round in the back here. You can take a longer stance than that. All you're going to do, you're going to push forwards here. Pushing forwards here. Like you're, you can imagine you've got like a big ball here, like a Swiss gym ball, and you're squeezing it in like you're pushing it down into water. You're squeezing it in, pushing it down to water and feel it pushing back. And put the breath of this, so breathe in and breathe out. In. And I'm tensing around here and I'm pushing forwards here. Breathing in and breathing in. It's a really smothering move as well, smothering. Change legs, step forwards the other foot. Breathe in and breathe out. And I find this side a lot easier. Push it in, squeeze it. You can imagine you're kind of like squeezing a Swiss gym ball between the legs as well. Pushing this one down in water, squeezing one in between the legs. Squeezing. Tensing from here, squeezing intense in the buttocks, pelvic floor. Breathe in, and breathe out. In, and out. In, and out. Okay. And say I don't tend to count. You can be methodical and do, I don't know, the same amount of each one. You can do 10 of each one, 20, 30, or you could go full on Tai Chi and do 108 of each one. Okay, so stepping forwards with your right foot again into this bow stance. Maintain your feet shoulder apart. So the main style of Tai Chi I practice in is Chen Manqing style, and Li Bei Li was a Chen Manqing stylist as well. So apparently he was a Shaolin Kung Fu practitioner before he did Tai Chi, and he went to challenge a Tai Chi teacher in Malaysia. A Tai Chi man, I think Li Bei Li was in his 20s at the time, and the Tai Chi teacher was Master Yu. Don't quote me on that one, but he was in his 50s at the time, and he thrashed Li Bei Li really easily, really convincingly. And as it is in the Chinese martial arts community, if you are beaten by a teacher from another school, then you should kowtow and you should ask to become their student, beg to become their student. And Li Bei Li did, and his part was Tai Chi. He died a few years ago, Li Bei Li, but his legacy lives on. Okay, in these exercises and in his students. This one, what you're going to do, you're going to bring down, those familiar with Tai Chi, you're going to make the single whip hand, so the beak of the crane, you're going to touch all the fingers to the thumb. You're going to do it with both hands. You're going to come down, breathe in, and breathe out, striking up, striking up. And again, make sure you don't lock your elbows out here. Pulling down, breathing in, and breathing straight up here. So I'm compressing my whole body down, breathing in, and breathing out. Again, make sure you're not locking your elbows out. So it's coming up from the ground. You're compressing the body against the ground, sending that strength of the ground up into the wrist. Breathing in and breathing out. In. Make sure that strength from the earth is not going out through the ribs. You're not curving in the lower back. It's traveling up through the body and out to your fist. Breathing in and breathing out. Do it on the other side. It's good to balance the body out, so do it on both sides here. People tend to be left or right-handed. Majority of people are right-handed, so they will favour the right side of the body all the time. So it's important to balance the body out, because yeah, if you do just train one side of the body all the time, then the muscles on that side of the body will develop stronger than the other side of the body, and this can twist the skeleton out of line. Over a long period of time, we do, everything in the body is regenerated. We regenerate everything inside the body. There's none of us that is older than, say, 15 or 20 years old, because every part of the body has been regenerated. Even the skeleton is regenerated over a 15 to 20 year period. So if, as your skeleton is regenerating, your muscles are pulling to one side all the time, then the skeleton will kind of regenerate, reform, twist it. Life will twist you out of shape if you let it. So it's very important to balance the body out and maintain good posture. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so feet hip distance, shoulder apart. You can be a little bit pin-toed here again. Pelvic area still forward, hanging down. Bring your, interlace your fingers. Pelvic area is hanging down. Imagine you have that ball in your belly. Head up. I just want you to shake your booty. So you're shaking out any residual tension in the body that you might have generated while doing that. These exercises, these exercises. Shaking up the connective tissue, the fascia, that web of connective tissue that surrounds and connects everything. Shaking out any knots, giving all the internal organs connected to the spine a nice shake out. And if you do get a stitch here, then stop. Oh, and it messes your voice up as well. So just rub your hands. Rub your hands. Give the neck a good rub. In fact, let's do this one first. So rub the hands. And just place your hands over your centre of gravity here. Ladies have the left hand on the right hand, gentlemen have the right hand on the left hand. You can take the thumb of the outside hand and touch it onto the very centre of the inside hand. I'm breathing in. Through the nose, and I'm going to breathe out through my mouth here. Just to settle my breath down. Breathing in. And breathing out. Nice deep breath. Really feel like you're breathing into that ball in the belly. Feel it expanding with the in-breath. Contracting with the out-breath. Pushing the belly out, pushing towards your back, pushing out all around here. Just feel the body settling down. Feel the breath settling down. Rub the hands. Rub the hands. Rub the neck. The self-massage, rub as hard as is comfortable for you. You can imagine you're rubbing in a magic cream here, a magic liniment, a magic ointment. Rubbing it in, rubbing it in. As I said in previous films, the imagination, a very, very powerful tool in Tai Chi and life in general. You can use it positively or it can use you in a negative way. So you can imagine you're rubbing in a magic cream here. Rubbing in a magic cream. You ever heard of the placebo effect? It's a placebo effect is where you convince somebody that you've given them something that's going to make them better, and just because they believe they've been given something to make themselves better, then their mind kind of makes themselves better. Like positive thinking. So really imagine you're rubbing in a magic cream here. Magic liniment one way, and the other way. All the way around. Up and down. Give the hips a good rub. Your buttocks. Your thighs. The knees. Imagine you're rubbing warm, loving, positive energy into your knees. The shins, the calves, the ankles. If you can get down there. And anywhere you feel might need some special attention. Give it a bit of rub. Okay, so that's all I've got for today. So give them a go. As I said, they're really good for strengthening, really good for the martial arts, but really good for just strengthening the body as well. And if you have been sat around not doing very much, because we can't do very much at the moment, then it's good to get the body moving. Just get the body moving. The warming of the body, the getting the breath up there, it really does lift the spirits. It's really good for the mind as well. So get up and give it a go, okay? Don't just sit around just watching. Don't scroll through. You would be watching this if you scroll through. I'm just starting to waffle here, so I will bid you good day, good day, good day.